Hi, Bhutan Door here. I just recorded my whole video and realized that I didn't really screen share. I didn't screen share it properly, so here it is again. Hi, my name is Bhutan Door, and I am an intense lover of astrology. I've been studying astrology since I was a child because I had astrology books on my bookshelf that I used to read all the time. So it's kind of been in my consciousness for a really long time. My focus is on the moon. I would say most heavily for the past 10 years, although for more than that, but really 10 years focusing on the moon and the cycles of the moon, the signs. I love looking at the moon. I think it's the most sort of revealing and easiest way to access astrology and to really understand like the energy shifts that go on. So I'm excited to do this, and hopefully I can screen share better this time. So let me give it a shot. So I'm going to see, share now. Did I go back? Hi. Okay, I think that's it. So here's the chart for, oh, and sadly it's a little bit cut off here. Let me see if I can fix that real fast here. There you go. Yes. Okay, there we go. So I live in California, so this is going to be a West Coast chart. For looking at the new moon and the full moon, I'm not going to be using the houses. I'm not getting into that because I just more want to feel into the energy of what's going on with these moons, because I like to follow the new and the full moon specifically. And so I'm not going to look at the houses. I'm going to ignore the rising sign for this. I'm going to be looking at I have an acronym that I use, MAS. So M, I'm going to look at the moon. A, I'm going to look at the aspects. And then S, I'm going to look at the sign, mostly that the moon is in. So the first thing I'm looking at here is the moon. So we have a moon. It's a new moon, and it's at 28 degrees. It's conjunct the sun here, and it's kind of this really unusual time. It's sort of, for me, I see it as a sacred time when they're conjunct together at the same degree, because it's really that moment when one door closes and another opens. But it hasn't quite opened yet. It's just there. And if I were to look at this as an horary chart, which is, I practice horary astrology, which if you're not familiar with it, it's when you ask a question and you look to the universe and the stars for context, and which helps you kind of generate answers to a question or a problem that you might have. So if I was to look at this as an horary chart, it wouldn't really be that, what would be the right word? It wouldn't really be very fortunate just on the get-go, just because the moon hasn't quite made that shift into that waxing process. And then also the moon is in the sign of Capricorn, which is its detriment, which I will talk a little bit more about later. So here we have this 28-degree new moon. And for me, the new moon is really a time where I like to do something ceremonial, and it doesn't have to be big, but something that kind of honors the end of the cycle and the beginning of a next. I cut my own hair. I'll trim my hair often on a new moon, or even maybe cut my fingernails, or clean out my car, light a candle, go on a walk, splash some. I live near a spring, so I'll splash some spring water on my face. even maybe just even going on a walk, but something that in the consciousness, I think that kind of sets the tone. Okay, we're ending the cycle of the last moon and we're beginning something new. And I think for this new moon, what's kind of interesting about it is that for a lot of new moons, there's this like, I feel usually like a big sort of rush of energy and excitement for the new moon. I don't know if we're going to feel it that much for this one because it's in the late degree, something has already happened. That's kind of like the way I'm interpreting this, is that when you have late degrees, 27 degrees or more, so it'd be 27, 28, 29, anything in those late degree range, for me, it's sort of like a surrender. Something's already been decided, something's already shifted, something's already moving into somewhere new. There's not really much you have to do for this new moon. Just roll with the energy. Maybe Capricorn I see as a sign where for me, I feel compelled usually to feel gratitude for great grandparents or, also maybe like focusing on what do I want to do with, how do I want to structure my life? There's a lot of things about structure and ambition. And you kind of have to feel it out for you, but the moon is actually in the sign of its detriment here in Capricorn. So for me, I find a lot of gratitude, trying to find gratitude, because it's kind of a hard energy here. So I think what I'm trying to say here is that with this new moon in Capricorn, just kind of see what comes up for you, and maybe how you're honoring your past, how you're honoring your future, and maybe looking at the realities that are in front of you in the present moment. Because Capricorn is kind of a sobering sign, I guess I would say. So the next thing I want to look at here is the aspects. And so we have Mercury here with Mars exalted in Capricorn, and then Venus and Pluto, where they're shifting already into Aquarius. But you have all of these planets together under the sun's beams, not really great, actually. Like the sun is overpowering all these planets. And so it's kind of a time, I think, really to like hunker down in this new moon and just keep going. And again, I think that kind of aligns with the Capricorn energy. There is a separating opposition from Jupiter in Cancer here, which Jupiter in Cancer is a really fun thing. It's a really exciting placement for Jupiter. And so having anything in opposition is difficult. So maybe something that was supposed to be fun didn't turn out to be as much fun as you thought it would be. Maybe it was a little bit more work than you thought it would be. But under this new moon, the energy on that is going to shift a little bit. We've been through a lot so far in January. We've been through a Mars cazimi, Venus cazimi. That was like very rare and unusual to have both of those happen so closely together. And in fact, I read that the last time that happened was during the rule of Charlemagne in France. So we've been through a lot, and we're heading into a new moon. And I think for this new moon, just honoring the moon in some small way and just staying focused, trusting that things are already shifting and moving in a new way that they're supposed to go in. I think another aspect here that's really interesting is this one here. You have a Saturn-Neptune conjunction right here. And the moon in Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So we really want to look at Saturn too in this chart. And It's placed in Pisces, conjunct Neptune and Pisces at this last degree. So that's when you have anything in a last degree, it's really karmic, like something karmic is going on. And then this is sextiling the new moon. And so it's a light, but it is a nice aspect that maybe there's, maybe not the biggest opportunity, but a nice opportunity is within this. It's been interesting for me to look at this Saturn Neptune conjunction because in a lot of charts that I've been looking at, it's been a really heavy, very intense energy. And to see it sort of helping here is nice for once. So that can be, for me, the Saturn Neptune thing has really been like seeing the reality, seeing through illusion. Maybe you really had to see the reality of something, and you had to take some plans that, and maybe it wasn't easy. And then you're now in this deep, intense, like new moon in Capricorn energy. Just keep going through it, keep persevering. What's happening is happening. You don't need to do much. Just honor yourself, honor your body, and make space for honoring this new moon and what it may bring you for the next month. So I think that's it. I think that's what I can say for this chart here. And I appreciate you watching this. And this is really fun for me to do this. Really look forward to it. And I'm going to be doing the full moon pretty soon here, next month. So that'll be a full moon in Leo. That's going to be good. It's going to be fun. All right. Thank you very much. Bye.